amendment brought to the law, is it enough for fair trial to maintain international standards?
I think the amendments that have been made are essential to ensuring fair trials. I believe that there are still some amendments that need to be made, and in consultation with the Chief Prosecutor, we will be presenting our view to the law advisor as to additional amendments, additional essential amendments that are necessary to ensure the fullest fair trial possible.
What is the process of bringing back Sheikh Hasina to face fair trial?
I do have some experience as a prosecutor in extradition matters. Obviously, there is an extradition treaty between Bangladesh and India, but we also are aware of what has been stated so far. I don't want to prejudge what India is going to do, but of course it is the role of the Chief Prosecutor and this office to ensure that charges are brought, that an extradition request is made, and obviously if extradition is refused, we will have to then look upon whether she is tried in her absence or whether in fact we look to the International Criminal Court to provide assistance in trying her. That is a matter that's not my decision to make, but certainly we would hope and certainly we would make a call to India as a democratic state that they respect the rule of law and they respect a lawful and proper request for her extradition when an extradition request is made.
Breakfast, tiffin কিংবা snack time এ মজাদার আয়োজন মানে all time bread.
As a barrister, as a member of the Bar of England and Wales, I have a professional responsibility to uphold the highest standards of professional ethics and conduct, and that is what I will do. I have agreed to assist the prosecution and to advise as much as I can to ensure that that process is maintained. Now, obviously, we are aware that for a number of states, particularly European states, that there is a refusal to extradite or to provide evidence in relation to proceedings where the death penalty is maintained. Now, of course, that will have to be a discussion that the government will need to engage in and whether it is appropriate to maintain the death penalty in these proceedings. And it will have to be a question as to whether, if they maintain the death penalty, whether they will lose the support, the absolutely essential support of European nations and the United Nations. Of course, that's not a decision for me to take. That is a decision that affects the government, and I understand that is a very topical issue to have. But certainly a decision will have to be taken as to whether it is appropriate to suspend the death penalty for these cases, to issue a moratorium, or whether the nature of these crimes are such that there will be a demand for the death penalty. Ultimately, it's a matter for the judges to decide as to whether the death penalty should be applied or not. The first thing to recognise is that that Bangladesh is a member of the International Criminal Court and has been a member since I believe 2010. So the International Criminal Court has jurisdiction over Bangladesh if Bangladesh is unwilling or unable to prosecute themselves. The question will be whether, in light of certain individuals being outside of the jurisdiction, whether they can be brought to this country, and whether it is then more appropriate for the International Criminal Court to issue warrants of arrest, as they have done in relation to Vladimir Putin and Benjamin Netanyahu recently. So that will have to be a question that will be asked at a later stage. But the one thing that I would say is that the International Criminal Court is not the answer to all problems. Even if it was to pursue a case against the senior leadership of the previous government, it would not be able to prosecute everyone. So that means that the vast majority of those who have been accused of crimes will have to be prosecuted before this tribunal. But it will have to be a complementary relationship between the International Criminal Court and the International Crimes Tribunal here.